adults used to bore me to tears with their tedious diatribes about how hard things were when they were growing up. What with walking 25 miles to school every day, uphill both ways, through year-round blizzards, carrying their younger siblings on their back to their one-room schoolhouse where they maintained a straight-A average, despite their full-time after-school job at the local textile mill where they worked for 35 cents an hour just to help keep their family from starving to death. And I remember promising myself that when I grew up, there was no way in hell I was going to lay a bunch of crap like that on kids about how hard I had it and how easy they've got it. But now that I've reached middle age, I can't help but look around and notice that the youth of today, you got it so fucking easy. I mean, compared to my childhood, you live in a goddamn utopia. And I hate to say it, but you kids today, you don't know how good you've got it. I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet. If we wanted to know something, we had to go to the goddamn library and look it up ourselves. And there was no email. You had to actually write somebody a letter with a pen. And then you had to walk all the way to the mailbox, and it would take like a week to get there. And there was no MP3s or file sharing. If you wanted to steal music, you had to go to the goddamn record store and shoplift it yourself. Or you had to wait around all day and tape it off the radio, and the DJ usually talked over the beginning and fuck it all up. You want to hear about hardship? You couldn't just download porn. You had to bribe some homeless dude to buy you a copy of Hustler from the 7-Eleven. It was either that or jack off to the lingerie section of the JCPenney catalog. Those were your options. And there was no such thing as call waiting. If somebody else called and the phone rang, you had no idea who it was. It could be your mom, a boss, a drug dealer. You didn't know. You just had to pick up your phone and take your chances, mister. And there was no such thing as fancy Sony PlayStation video games with high-resolution 3D graphics. We had the Atari 2600. With games like Space Invaders and Asteroids, and the graphics sucked ass. Your guy was a square. You had to use your imagination, and there were no multiple levels or screens. It was just one screen forever, and you could never win. The game just kept getting harder and faster until you died. Just like life. Those were the games built careful from Jim. And when you went to the movies, there was no such thing as stadium seating. If a tall guy sat in front of you, you were fucked. And sure, we had cable television, but back then that was only like 20 channels, and there was no on-screen menu. You had this little book called the TV Guide to find out what was on. And there was no Cartoon Network. You could only get non-stop cartoons on Saturday morning. You see what I'm saying? We have to wait all week, you spoiled little bastards. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Problem with kids today is you got it too easy, you're spoiled. I swear to God, you wouldn't last 5 minutes back in 1987. Thanks. This next one is about porn. Is that okay? I've noticed there don't seem to be any porno movies that are made for guys like me. All the porn I've come across was targeted at beer-swilling, sports bar-dwelling alpha males. Men who like their women stupid and submissive. Men who can only get it up for monosyllabic, cock-hungry nymphos with gargantuan breasts and a 3-word vocabulary. Adult films are populated with these collagen-injected, liposuction women, many of whom have resorted to surgery and self-mutilation in an attempt to look the way they have been told to look. These aren't real women, they're objects. And these movies aren't erotic, they're pathetic. These vacuum-headed fuck bunnies don't turn me on, they disgust me. Not that I'm against pornography, I mean, I'm a guy. And guys need porn. Facts! Like a preacher needs pain, like a needle needs a vein, guys need porn. But I don't want to watch misogynist He-Man woman hater porn. I want porno movies that are made with guys like me in mind. Guys who know that the sexiest thing in the world is a woman who is smarter than you are. You can have the whole cheerleading squad. I want the girl in the tweed skirt and the horn-rimmed glasses, Betty Finabowski. Oh yes, first I want to copy her trig homework, and then I want to make mad, passionate love to her for hours and hours until she reluctantly asks if we can stop because she doesn't want to miss Battlestar Galactica. That's what I call erotic. But you ever see that kind of woman in a contemporary adult film? No. This is why I'm going to start writing and directing geek porno. I should be the quintessential nerd porn auteur. And the women in my porno movies will be the kind that drive nerds like me mad with desire. I'm talking about the girls who used to fuck up the grading curve. The girls in the Latin Club, the National Honor Society, chicks with weird clothes, braces, 4 eyes, and 4.0 GPAs. Brainy, articulate bookworms with Mensa cards in their purses and chips on their shoulders. My porn stars will come in all shapes and sizes. My porn stars will be too busy working on their PhD to go to the gym. In my kind of porno movies, the girls wouldn't even have to get naked. They just take the guys down to the rec room and beat them repeatedly at chess, and then talk to them for hours about Heisenberg's uncertainty principle or the underlying social metaphors in the Alien movies. But I stopped into hand cream companies because there's about to be a major shortage. And I'm not talking about straight porn. Oh no, there should be fuck films for my nerd brethren of all sexual orientations. Gay nerd porn flicks with titles like Dungeons and Drag Queens. This idea is a fucking gold mine. I'm going to make this country is full of database programmers and electronics engineers, and they aren't getting the loving they so desperately need. And you can help. If you're an intelligent woman who is interested in breaking into the adult film industry, and if you can tell me the name of Luke Skywalker's home planet, then you are hired. It doesn't matter if you think you're overweight or unattractive. It doesn't matter if you don't think you're beautiful. You are beautiful, and I will make you a star. Thank you. So instead of reading you more nerd poetry, I'm going to defer the rest of my time. I thought I would bring a surprise to you guys. You guys like surprises? Please welcome #1 New York Times bestselling author Patrick Rothfuss.
Come on now, do you guys really know who I am? That is so weird. Well, I wrote a couple of fantasy novels, but what most people don't know is that while I was struggling and failing to get those published, I actually wrote an advice column for the college paper. And it started as an advice column, and after about 3 weeks, it kind of devolved into me making fun of whoever wrote in. And so here is a little column somebody wrote in with an innocent letter, and it kind of spiraled into madness. Strangely enough, somebody today, when I was signing books, said, "The Guinea Pig column, you have to post it up online." And I said, "Oh, you know, I keep that in my back pocket. I read it at my signings. It's kind of my ace in the hole." But as we're doing the Creative Commons thing here, I suppose whoever has a camera phone out there gets to finally put this on YouTube and make that woman very happy. So, here's the letter that was written in. Dear Pat, I live in the dorms and I want to have a pet. But they say the only pets we can have are fish, and fish suck. You can't play or cuddle with the fish. I don't want a dog or anything, just like a hamster. What's the difference, really? They both live in an aquarium, right? And then it's signed, Pretty Emotional Toward Mammal Embargoes, which is clever because the acronym is Pet Me. Which, you know, at the time, I never read anything into that. I might have missed an opportunity. About 10 years too late. That's my track record right there. My response. Well, Pet Me, when I lived in the dorms, I too felt the desire for something mammalian to cuddle. However, since I horrify most women, I decided to buy an animal that was forced to love me or face starvation. A pet, in other words. So I bought 2 guinea pigs and an aquarium. I called them Mr. Fluffins and Squeaky Pete. They were teddy bear short hairs, cute as buttons. How did I deal with the dorm rule against pets? Simple. I ignored it. This worked really well for about 2 months until my RA saw them. He told me I'd have to get rid of them, and I agreed. Then I got back to ignoring the rule. This worked really well for another month until he saw him a second time. And now we have a little bit of script-style dialogue going back and forth. Him, you said you were going to get rid of those. Me, get rid of what? Him, those. I got rid of the old ones. Those are new ones. Him, You can't have any pets but fish. Me. They aren't pets, they're food. I'm just fattening them up. Him. Listen, there are rules. Me. In Thoreau's concept of civil disobedience, it's every citizen's duty to oppose unjust laws. Him. I'm getting the hall director. About 10 minutes later, the hall director stopped by. He says, you can't have pets in the dorm. It says right in the handbook. Me. Except fish. Him. Right. Except fish. Me. Those are fish. Him. Those are guinea pigs. Me. Prove it. So he leaves and he comes back with a dictionary. Here, fish, an aquatic animal. Me. They're aquatic. Him. Prove it. So I leave and I come back with my neighbor's 10-gallon aquarium. It's full of water, plastic plants, and several confused neon tetras named after the various stooges. Now you should know something at this point. Squeaky Pete was everything you could ever want in a guinea pig. He's loving, cuddly, playful. Mr. Fluffins, however, was standoffish. He would occasionally give me this snobby look, as if he really didn't approve of my behavior. A few days ago, he and I had a talk about how he might more willingly embrace the role of loving pet. At the end of the talk, I thought we were in agreement, but when I picked him up afterward, he made wee on my hand. So, with the hall director standing there, I picked up Mr. Fluffins, dusted the cedar chips off him, and dropped him in the aquarium. He squeaked a little and then started to swim around. Then the hall director said, aquatic means they live underwater. Swimming around doesn't count. So, turning to look my hall director in the eye, I took Mr. Fluffins in a firm grip and pushed him underwater. Sweet mother of fuck, he shouted. What are you doing? I'm showing you my fish. I said calmly, still looking him in the eye. Mr. Fluffins and the Stooges started some improv comedy that lasted for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I didn't look away from the hall director. His eyes were huge. He started to sweat. I didn't blink. It's a fish, he said. I pulled Mr. Fluffins out of the tank, squeezed him out, and wrapped him in a towel and put him on my roommate's bed in case he decided to puke. And after that, Bethany, the hall director never gave me any trouble at all. Best of all, Mr. Fluffins became the perfect pet. For about 3 weeks. Then he tried to shiv me in my sleep. After that, we had another talk, during which he made wee on my hand yet again. So I killed him, ate him, and made his skin into a little hat that I wear to this day.